here at work decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals. It was the talk of the town. It's going down. The word of the curve. You heard me. Here in Southern California, it was a warm day today. Beautiful day to be out and enjoying yourself. Well, still to be out and enjoying yourself. But you already know. Just wanted to hop on, chop it up with the lokes and the folks. Let me just set this up. Now, what I wanted to discuss was the topic of cloud chasing, right? What is considered cloud chasing? I remember somebody in my live yesterday said that they had accused me of cloud chasing, right? When in itself is like, just because you're more successful or you're richer or whatever, and somebody comes and now points out something does not mean that you're cloud chasing. Like, just because you're successful doesn't mean that you're not wrong or that you can't display bad behaviors. That in itself is ridiculous. What's cracking like it, Rogelio? What's good, my boy? Shout out to Tiny Boys. What's cracking like it, Jose? A little rich. What's good? What's good? But it's the excuse that a lot of, big shots, like to run to, right? It's always the excuse. Oh, they want my success, or they want my money, or they want my clout, right? Then it turns out that people were actually right and these individuals were guilty, right? And then it's like, well, what happened? I thought you said that they were just for your stuff. Like, it's the excuse that people always use. But it's like, how original. It's like, if it was because of the jealousy of the success, why would I specifically just target your channel and not other channels, right? It doesn't make any sense. I ran into Young this morning on my way to work. They posted outside the gas station. Orale. That's right. At the gas station. That's crazy. Probably needed to pump some gas, no? I wish they would. Nah, for what, bro? It ain't worth it. He said Young Buck. At the gas station, though? Never heard people post it at the gas station before. That's crazy. Maybe outside of a liquor store, in an alley, outside some projects, some apartments, but at a gas station? Maybe they run the gas station. All right. Only crickets was at the gas station. Yeah, that's crazy. But I noticed that not all Northerners have long hair though, because I seen that in some areas they're kind of like down here. But I guess it's like mostly, I guess in the big city areas is where they're more long haired individuals. How long is your break? 45 minutes, my boy. For that long shit. That's why my lives are always roughly around that time. I always end them like 20 minutes in or like 30 minutes in, right? Because the other time I spend eating. The family's good. How about yours, bro? A toda madre? They're looking for trouble. That's the. All right. I feel you. So if they run into some mobs, they'll definitely run into them there. Okay, I feel you. I guess how over there the areas are more distance to each other, right? There's more of a travel component to it, right? Compared to like right here, where like all the gangs are just separated by like 2, 3 streets the most. A block if you're lucky. While over there, you actually have to travel sort of a distance to get to your ops. It's crazy. What's cracking like Mr. Pasa's definitely up in the casa. Even up here, Sureños don't go anymore. Yeah, I know. Actually, most upstaters that I have talked to weren't bald at all. Actually, no, they had like fades and stuff like that, right? But it's rare that. But then again, down here, you'd hardly see any bald individuals either. You see them all now with Edgars or fades. That's right, my boy. Good to hear. How's the Harley? Your thoughts on when they hand down their jewelry? Oh, you mean like when they borrow the jewelry just for the music video? Yes, because that actually does happen. I've seen it for myself. People will be lending people their cars, their jewelry. Why? I have no idea. Like if that's somehow gonna make the song, bump better. most music nowadays it does good, but not mainly because of how good the track was, but because of the visuals. They have bitches right there in thongs, and fools are like, damn, that was a good track. What was the track about? I don't know. They're distractions, bro. Distractions. That's why when I do the music reactions, I like to do them without the videos because they're just distractions. You know what I mean? Like if we're gonna just judge the music based off the quality of the music, because all that other shit is just distractions. Fools didn't even know what the track was about. They're like, yeah, that shit was a banger. How did it go? I don't fucking know. Clap, clap, I think. Oh, and Jesus is definitely up in the building. Shout out to Stockton. But even this one, serio, anybody can get it? Have you seen this case about? Yeah, actually, I was talking about it yesterday on my channel. Yeah, it's looking really bad for the individual, but like I said, nothing is solid. Like nothing is concrete yet, right? Like there's a whole lot of speculation and a whole lot of opinions going around, right? But we still don't have the facts yet. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the facts. Like, was it this fool or was it his fucking manager, or was it the guy that was moving the car, or was it an accident? What you have to write? Simon, my boy, you already know he's chilling right here, like always, like a villain. Little G was a swag gangster. When he recreated himself, he was. When he was just little gangster, he was more of the typical Chicano stereotype, kind of artist. When he became King Little G, or is that who you're talking about? Eric, is it? What's cracking like it, my boy? What's good? What's good, Eric? Have you played Grow Garden? No. What is that? What happened with his docs? Oh, damn! Hey, that's a good question. You're right. He hasn't popped out on my notifications in a while. Oh, I didn't even realize that until you brought that up right now. He hasn't popped out on my algorithm lately. I used to scope out Lucky. That's a good question. Hopefully the vato's doing good, and hopefully he didn't get like busted or some shit like that, right? Or maybe he's just taking a break from the internet. Who knows? Sometimes you actually do need a break from the madness. We have LA Vatos turn norte. They were known as true story. They claim. I no, I believe that. I believe that. You have individuals down here that hood hop, so I believe I believe that 100. You know, you have individuals that used to be from one hood, and then all of a sudden they're from a different hood, and it's like, so yeah, I definitely believe that. If it can happen down here, it can happen anywhere. Personally, I wouldn't take an individual like that though. It shows that you don't got no loyalty, right? So when the push comes to shove, the individual's definitely gonna fold. So why even accept somebody like that? Yeah, I believe that 100. I could definitely see that happening. The shadow go to shows? Is there still rap shows? Yeah, I go to shows. I actually have some videos on my other channel of me at several shows actually. I normally go to a few shows every year. So yeah, and yeah, I always make videos and upload them. I actually have several on my other channel. I actually like going to shows. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to a show coming up, and I think mid-October. This is Art Bowl. Or is it Art Bowl or I forgot who it was. My aunt said she was gonna get the tickets. I don't know. What's cracking like in Dashpool? What's good, my boy? What about fake jewelry from the? I forget. I don't understand why you would buy the fake jewelry though. Like, why? Look, I don't even understand the jewelry in general, right? But why buy the fake jewelry? Here's one thing though. People could have this. This is what separates the things, right? The situations. If you see a homie right here in the projects with a diamondized gold chain, people are gonna be like, it's fake. Okay. But if it was like a rapper, let's say, or an athlete, let's say LeBron, NFL player or something like that, they have the same, chain. They're gonna say it's real. But everyday folks like me and everybody else out there in the world, right? Most of everybody in the world can't tell the difference between the real jewelry and the fake jewelry unless you're somebody who actually is in that field, right? That actually knows jewelry, right? That can spot a real, diamond gold chain from a fake diamond gold chain. You get what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it is so complex in that rappers and basketball players, football players, and athletes, actors have bought fake jewelry and didn't know that it was fake until they went to go get it insured, and they were told at the insured place that it was fake. But they didn't know because how the fuck would they know? They're not a fucking, expert in diamonds and all that shit. Most people are not, right? So people can't even tell when something's actually real or fake, right? But floss it like if they could, like if they understand, like if they can actually tell the difference, right? So if rappers are wearing fake chains, but nobody can tell the difference, right? But then you have an individual that's wearing a fake chain, and it is like, so what does it matter? So where does the concept of like, glamorizing this come from, though, right? Like, because if you really look at it, diamonds are not rare. Like people claim that diamonds are rare. Diamonds are actually common. They're one of the most common, fucking elements in this planet, right? But people's what they put value into, right? Like people put so much value into the diamond that makes it worth that amount, right? These individuals con society in a good way too. They made people believe that these things are actually worth money, a lot of money, right? They monopolize the business and now getting paid all kinds of feria for something that essentially really doesn't have any value. How do we know that something doesn't have value? Put it like this. If we were to have a natural disaster right now, right? Like something, devastating happen in the world, right? Gold, diamonds, and money is now irrelevant. It's no longer something that people are looking to gain or something that people actually want Because, like, what am I going to do with gold, silver? No, I need water. I need food. I need, heat, a shelter. Now that is the stuff that is actually worth stuff, right? That is actually something that has value into it, right? Your loved ones, right? Keeping your loved ones safe. So now you realize what actually really is important in this world and what actually holds value. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, I'll trade you this bar of gold or this gold diamond chain for a sandwich. And it's like, no, what am I going to do with that gold chain? You see the times we're living in now? Can't do nothing with that shit. It's funny. No. Other shows we get are old school. Yeah, mostly down here too. Those are the shows that I like. I don't really like the newer stuff because, like I said, I just can't relate. He's also playing Fortnite and video games. Like, oh yeah. No, he was a Fortnite player before he was an artist. Before he was a rapper or any of this shit ever hit the fans, he was that. And if he's doing it like after the murder, right? Then he's just trying to play it. He's just trying to play it like if he's not, like suspicious. Like he's trying to play it cool, like like he's got nothing to hide type shit, right? He's got a good lawyer. Oh, my boy, money. Money's gonna get you the best lawyers on the planet. Now people say that, nah, like a good lawyer's still gonna, not gonna be able to get people out of a situation. Sure, it can. O.J. Simpson was guilty as a motherfucker. Everybody knows it. But yet he was able to buy the greatest lawyers and he put the all-star team of lawyers together. I think he had like 5 lawyers. Shit, he was found not guilty. Like, damn, my boy. Them lawyers were chingon because this motherfucker was guilty as fuck. I'm surprised he didn't go to the court with a shirt that said I did it. That's all. That's all he was missing. Little G also had beef with the other little G. Yeah, it's because there's so many little G's. It's like, it's crazy. The other little G got swole. Oh. That's crazy. How was your life changed after the YouTube fame? Do people ask you for selfies every time you leave the house? I don't have YouTube fame. I ain't nobody. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy right here chopping it up with people. I have no time at all. But yeah, I actually have been recognized in the streets and people have actually wanted to take pictures and stuff like that. And I don't understand why, to be honest with you. I actually think that was kind of strange. Like, well, why? Like, what the fuck am I? I ain't nobody. You know what I mean? What the fuck am I? Yeah, but I actually bumped into a lot of cool people. But as to say fame, I ain't got no fame. And I prefer it that way. I'm not somebody who likes and seeks attention. I just like to come and conversate. It's hood hopping, looked down upon. Why is it allowed? It depends who you're asking, though. It depends, I guess, on the scenarios because hood hopping is seen, right? It does happen. I personally, don't think that it's righteous because it shows that the individual has no loyalty, no actual, bond. You know what I mean? He's easily just, or to me, it's just somebody who's just playing the part. He's just adapting to his new environment. So once he, transfers from this environment, it's going to be the same. Or once he ends up in the back of a police car, or who knows? You know what I mean? But clearly, the individual has no loyalty. Why is it allowed though? Some individuals are just infatuated with numbers. Some hoods just want as many members as possible. I think that point of view is the most stupidest, right? Because that's how you end up getting all these, no good individuals in your hood, right? But some people just think that numbers is the key, right? But I have always said it, like, You can be out there 100 deep, 100 individuals posted. If a car rolls up with 2 individuals in it and they both have semi-automatics and come out and they start shooting, everyone's running. Those 100 heads are running, bro. They're taking off running. So what good was being out there with 100 heads? Nothing. 2 individuals made all you guys running. So like I said, like numbers doesn't mean shit, you know. And people in the internet have a problem. Like they have this infatuation where they expect gangs to be super deep, right? Like and if they don't see the numbers that they think in their head is what makes a gang strong, they think that the gang's dead or it's, you know, they ain't out there like that. You know what I mean? But it's like, why do they need to be out there like that? Like if they already put in their work, they go and lay low. They already did what they had to do. These individuals could be posted all the damn time 100 deep right there, but if they ain't doing shit, what does it matter? You can put 100 scarecrows going to do the same thing out there. You know what I mean? The idea that people have of how the gang life should be compared to how it actually is, and I think that they must have all got it from movies, though. I think that's, and I see it a lot on my other channel, right? Like when people comment on my other videos, right? I see, you know, that people have gotten their idea of the street life just based off of movies. I can always tell, like, oh yeah, this guy clearly has been watching a lot of Blood In, Blood Out. Yeah, but in the street life, it doesn't work like that, though. The movies play it out like that because they don't have that much time to dive into the actual life of the individual. So they have to, you know, throw as much information out there as possible, right? But without wasting so much time, right? That's why it's always, you know, the individuals are made to look this way because they don't have the time to go into their backstory and show all the stuff that they have done to build their reputation, right? Right off the bat, you have to already know that the individual means business, right? So you get a individual who looks scary looking, right? And that way, you know, okay, he's the bad guy. He's a leader. Yeah, he must have done a lot of shit because he looks intimidating. You know what I mean? But in the real world, it doesn't work like that. Like individuals know that who means business because they have seen them in action, right? They don't have to look the part. And people be like, what? That was a shot collar? He don't even look like a shot collar. Like, what were you expecting, huh? Some guy tattooed from the face? You know what I mean? There's a reason. If you look at every member from MS here in the United States, that you have seen them get arrested and all of that, right? None of those individuals ever have tattoos on their faces. None of them. The ones in El Salvador is different. Those individuals are tatted from head to toe, right? It's just that here in America, MS moving like that wouldn't be beneficial to MS. MS would be able to get cracked down in a heartbeat if they were to move like how they move in El Salvador. That's why they don't move like that down here. They had to adapt to how the laws are here, right? And so they wouldn't do something as reckless as doing that, right? Because then you're going to get busted right away. Now, individuals that you see blasted, that come out all blasted, like let's say from different hoods, it's because they were locked away for a long time. Long time. Right? And like I said, gangsters live in the moment. We live in the day. We don't think about the future because the future to us is like, how do we know we're even gonna make it to that? You know what I mean? We're not thinking about like the future or when I come out, I'm gonna get a job. You know what I mean? So then people are like, why are you gonna get a job now? Like, well, they weren't thinking about that at the moment, bro. I can assure you of that, right? I'm pretty sure they didn't even think they were gonna live to see the day of that. No, trust me, I have seen Edgars and skinny jeans and everything that are some righteous individuals, bro. Yeah, some individuals just do that. Like, let's say if a homie is really like, this is his really good homie, like this is like his compadre, like his doggy dog, right? Then that individual will be, how could I say, vouching for that individual, right? So you get individuals that vouch for people, that like, man, this was not really about it though. But then you always have that individual that defends him. He'll definitely feel the pressure though, I'll tell you that much. Shit, most of the homies came home no good. Yeah, I could see that. But that's only because individuals are infatuated with themselves, though. Uh, people people want to act like they're the ones, right? But then when the game gets real and they don't want to play no more, and it's like, well, you shouldn't have been acting like if you were like so fucking, elite. The ones with the biggest mouths are always gonna end no good. Big mouths are always gonna end up no good, bro. That's just the way it's always gonna go. So if an individual is just a loudmouth individual, then he's gonna end up just being good. That's why when I hear individuals on here like Wes Watson and individuals that talk so much, like if they're the most gangster and the toughest of all the individuals, I already know, yeah, this individual's full of shit. All his stories that he's telling about prison, I don't believe a damn word, because somebody who was actually incarcerated and talks like them wouldn't have been able to parole in good standings. They're just not. They're just wouldn't. You know what I mean? Because individuals like that don't last, bro. Don't last. I know people think that that's how a gangster should behave. That's what they think in their head. But no, actually, they'll behave the opposite of that, though. They'll mostly be quiet. They'll mostly won't speak about anything. They mostly don't even talk all that much. They don't talk about their stories about prison and what they did. They don't, brag. They don't, desperately want to be speaking about all that. You know what I'm saying? The ones that always come and be like, oh yeah, I was in there, bro, and five fools tried to step up, man, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, yeah, this guy's full of shit, though. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Because individuals like that are not tolerated in there, bro. They're just not. You're not going to impress nobody with your stories because everybody in there has done work, right? And people don't want to care about what you're going to do. You either do it or you don't. Nobody wants to hear about it. We don't care about what you're going to do. You either do it or you don't. And shut the fuck up. Nobody cares, right? And acting like you tough and scared to smile. Like I said, individuals like that, like, okay, this guy's just full of shit. You know what I mean? Individuals don't carry themselves like that. That's why when all these fools come on here and they be like, man, I was in there and I was knocking fools out. I'm just like, uh-huh. Sure you were. Bro, you know what would happen if an individual just took it upon himself to be shutting the yard down? Because if you're fighting in there, you're going to be shutting down the yard, right? So you're shutting down the yard. Imagine if you're shutting down the yard just for your own actions, just because, you want to, wow, man, I was knocking fools. You're shutting down the yard, all these yards, all the time, and nobody, took action. Because you're fucking it up. People probably had businesses to handle that day, or stuff had to be moved around. And when you're over here fucking up the programs for everybody, but people just let it slide and they just gave you the pass because you're him. 9 times out of 10, ain't shit going down. It's boring as fuck. I don't know where these people were locked up that every day they're getting themselves into some grand adventure. Where were you locked up at, bro? Like, shut your goofy ass up, bro. People are so full of it. It's all those movies they watch, I guess. Like, yes, let's see. What story do you have today? What did you do now? What happened now? Man, you were busted with people that had all the patience in the world for you, bro. Because you fucking it up all the damn time. But yet everybody seems to just be cool with it, huh? Must have been nice. Not even the head honchos get like that kind of treatment. These guys are so full of shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.